Oh, hi. Welcome to Silksong, the game that is supposed to be showing right now, but I forgot to open OBS. So far in Silksong, and this might be long, because this is potentially the finale, and every recap for every stream, every recap of every stream of Silksong is now going to have a long recap, because every single time, there is a chance that it's it. So I have to do a big, long recap. Okay. So far, Hollow Knight Silksong. Let me make sure I got, okay. At the very beginning of the game, we were kidnapped, and brought to the Kingdom of Farloom. Alright? So we went from the first game, hang on, I need to fix something real quick. As I was saying. So in the last game, we were in a kingdom, called Hollow Nest. That is the entirety of the last game. The whole last game, was all Hollow Nest. This game is borderline confirmed to be a sequel. Hornet has mentioned things about Void, and there's no way that she could know about that stuff unless the events of Hollow Knight happened. So, this is a sequel. Same thing with, she mentioned that, well, I'll talk about it later. So she was in the Kingdom of Hollow Nest, and she got kidnapped, and brought to the Kingdom of Farloom. It's Farloom with a P, P-H. In the Kingdom of Farloom, she discovered that she discovered a few things. First off, that there is a massive divinity, named Grand Space Mother Silk. So it's Grandmother Silk, but it's not grandmother like your grandma, it's the grandmother, right? I'll write, S for her in yellow. So Grandmother Silk, was the divinity that ruled over Farloom. Long ago, before the events of the video game, Grandmother Silk created entities called Weavers. They are spider-like beings. These Weavers, then, for reasons that I'll talk about in a minute, but we've learned throughout this game, left the Kingdom of Farloom and went to Hollow Nest, where they then, through a diplomatic deal, one of the Weavers, Hera the Beast, had a child with the King of Hollow Nest, the Pale King, in order to birth Hornet. Making it so that Hornet, is half Weaver and half, Pale Being. PB. And half Pale Being. Together, this creates a Weaver that can make their own silk within their core, but also has unique abilities similar to Grandmother Silk, who is also a Pale Being. Once again, Hornet, the child of the Pale King and Hera the Beast, kidnapped from Hollow Nest, her kingdom, where she would have had reign at this time, and brought to Farloom. In Farloom, we learned that the divinity, Grandmother Silk, is causing a haunting. This haunting is causing anyone that is inside of Farloom to eventually become bad. They become aggressive. They become evil, making it so that they attack anyone that is inside of the kingdom. Now, the thing is that a lot of these bugs that she is attacking are pilgrims. Because she is a divinity and is worshipped like a divinity, a lot of people come here looking to worship, looking to join her holy order, right? But over time, the Weavers learned something about Grandmother Silk that turned them against her. The Weavers, throughout all of their life, were led to believe that they were the child of Grandmother Silk and that they were all her holy children. Somehow, a way that we don't know, maybe it has to do with her actual child, Lace, who I'll show you in a second. Maybe it has to do with her actual child, Lace, being revealed to be what her children look like. Maybe it was them finding a character named the First Sinner, who is this, who revealed this to them. This is Lace, by the way. Through unknown means, they discovered that Grandmother Silk was lying to them, and that they actually weren't her divine children, but were just normal bugs given higher sentience through her reign. These lies angered them. It made them furious at Grandmother Silk. So, they responded by forcing Grandmother Silk into a cocoon, weaving a cocoon around her, similar to a silk moth, and causing her to go into a deep slumber. This slumber then caused the haunting. The Weavers that remained then took over Farloom, making Farloom into their kingdom. Reigning over Farloom, they committed many misdeeds. One of these is, theoretically, creating artificial life through the use of silk, such as lace. That is a possibility. Another is they took silk from beings and injected it into themselves in order to create artificial, infinite life. These are things that could have been happening under Grandmother Silk. We don't know, but some evidence points away from that, and that the Weavers weren't actually as gracious as we once believed them to be. So, when we got to Farloom, as we're learning all of the things that I just said, we were given a few tasks. The first being to climb the mountain. Farloom is a massive, towering mountain. We had to climb the mountain to reach Grandmother Silk at the peak in order to defeat her and stop the haunting. We did this. It resulted in us taking her place, so we had to take an alternate route. We'll talk about that more in a second. Our two other goals were to get the tools in the region and replenish our abilities that we had in the first game. Getting our stuff back, basically. The third is kind of to do with the first. After we learned the Weavers were here, we had to explore in order to learn more about them, to learn more about our heritage, where we come from, and what they were doing in the region, and why some of them left the region to go to Hollow Nest. Like I said, we've done tools. We have all the tools. We're done with this. This is it. We're done. We're done with this. We did that. We've learned a lot about the Weavers. There is still more to learn and context to gain. We have climbed the mountain, and we have defeated Grandmother Silk, and we took her place, which resulted in the haunting being even worse. So, rather than defeating Grandmother Silk, rather than killing her, we created, with help from snails in the region, snails are very, like, arcane focused. They know a lot of, like, spells and the inner workings of the soul in order to cast said spells. With help of snails in the region, we created a snare. Using this snare, which is compacted void, we'll talk more about void in a second. Using this snare, we were able to capture Grandmother Silk and drag her down into a pool of void where her pale light could be snuffed out. When we did this, she tried to grab us and take us down with her. Instead, Lace, who I just showed you, Grandmother Silk's daughter, came in, freed us from Grandmother Silk's grasp, and cut off her arm, but was caught in the snare as well and dragged down into the void. Now, void is a very special thing in Hollow Knight, both Hollow Knight proper and Hollow Knight Silksong. Void is not darkness per se. Void is a living entity that exists, but rather than being a solid being of cells like we are, they are a pool of liquid that can unify in order to lash out at anything that comes too close to the pool, and they can cancel out soul. So you can see up in the upper left, see that glowing white stuff? That is soul. Hornet is able to make this into a web. Other creatures cannot. In Hollow Knight 1, it is liquid. That is light. Soul is light. Void is the opposite. It can snuff out that light. It is darkness. But it is a living being similar to soul. In Hollow Knight, we witness the knight, the main character, the player, the knight, be able to manifest this soul into, or this void into abilities, even at some points being the core unifier for all of void. This is, think about void as a roaring crowd. You're at a concert, right? The crowd is all screaming and yelling different sounds, and up on stage it sounds like white noise. But one person starts a chant. The people next to them hear that chant and repeat it. And slowly but surely, like a virus, it spreads throughout the crowd and everyone starts chanting. And all of a sudden that white noise turns from white noise into something understandable for the people on stage and for all those within the crowd. Void is that crowd. In the first game, the knight was that person that started the chant. And he is the only reason why Hornet knows about Void. So, in this game, there is no person unifying that chant. There could have been if we were dragged down, but there is no person unifying that chant. So instead, it's lashing out and consuming everything in Farloom as the queen is dragged deep into the depths of the void alongside her daughter, who she is desperately trying to save from the void, creating a cocoon within that pool in order to stop Lace from being consumed, and then it pushing back, and she's lashing out trying to be freed, causing an earthquake to be consuming Farloom. So, now we have a new mission. Our first mission was to defeat Grandmother Silk. We've done that. Our new mission is to slowly make our way down into the void in order to reach Grandmother Silk and theoretically free Lace from the grasp of void and maybe defeat Grandmother Silk once and for all. To do this, we needed three ingredients in order to create a thing called an Everbloom. These 3 ingredients were 3 hearts. We needed hearts from very powerful beings in order to create a thing called the Everbloom. The Everbloom is a flower that glows with pale light. It has the ability to ward the void away and will be able to give us access to the queen. It will give us the ability to swim down into that pool and stop Grandmother Silk from lashing out. Maybe kill her once and for all. Maybe free Lace. We don't know. We haven't done it. But before we are able to do that, we have a few other goals that we need to achieve. You can see on this back wall that there are things on the shelf. There are currently 5 of them. I believe there are 8 total. And we only have 5. We are at 99% completion of this game. There are 3 badges left. One of these is a thing called the Flea Festival that we have yet to complete. We are going to start with that today and hopefully finish it soon. The other is completing a journal. We have this bug journal here. You can see that we are at 232 completed out of 235. All the ones we haven't finished are right here. They are all these void beings that are at the bottom. It's these 3. We need to finish these 3 off. You can see we're very close. And then we will be done with the bug journal. Then we need to go meet a character named Un. But you can see we are at 100% completion. I could go finish the game right now. I am choosing not to because the things on this wall do not count as completion, and I think they should. So we are going to finish off the little tiny bit left of this game completion-wise, and then head down into the abyss in order to finally, after 143 hours as of right now, that will be more when we get there, complete Hollow Knight Silksong. But first we gotta bounce on some fleas. No. Alright, I got this. I'm gonna do this first try. Whoa! Whoa. What? Well, 39 for a first go is pretty good. Pretty good. Whoa! Fuck! Fuck! No! 71! Vinga! Dear one. Oh, good timing, good timing, good timing, good timing, good timing, good timing. All I needed was sensory deprivation. Jesus Christ. Vikna! Dear one, you outdo yourself. That wasn't his voice, it was more like this. Dear one, you outdo yourself. To beat your previous high score is a marvel indeed. Dear Swan, my dear grand champion, will you dance and fly with us above the water? No! Fuck you! Jesus Christ! We're finishing the game tonight! Well now, how brilliant. In all these fine games, you have matched my scores and more. And what wonder to be here and able to witness such a display of fine, profound talent. Testing your scores proved an immense challenge, Seth. And yet, you seem to have achieved them yourself with relative ease.
You flatter me. But yes, my own aptitude continues to surprise me. So many skills I cannot recall learning. But do not underplay your own achievements, for they too are significant, inspiring even. In fact, for my deep respect, I insist you take this small medallion. I found it within my belongings, and know not where I came upon it, but it has most pleasant sense. Let it serve as a marker of our friendship. I feel only just begun.
You're nodded.
Thank you, Seth. I shall keep it close. Get me the fuck out of this goddamn festival. I don't care, Seth. Stop singing to me. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Goddamn. Hey, we only have, well, hang on. Hang on. 1 second. Hang on. Hang on. We have 2 more mementos left. One of them is the bug journal. The other is a mystery. But we have 2 more left.
Nimble Bug, you return refreshed, and so perfectly timed, for I have a new challenge prepared. The course shall remain the same as last, but length, the lapse, will be greatly extended.
You propose a test of endurance. I have undertaken many in my time.
Excellent, excellent. Though no, for this race I can only provide slight reward for victory. What say you, Nimblebug?
No. Another time, perhaps.
Then I shall continue to train in anticipation for that future moment. Having met it, it is inevitable. Fate calls us to compete.
And I already had him equipped. I just had to double check. All right, we're good.
Let us stride forth. Boy, let this mighty contest of shells commence again. Oop.
Should have ran a prediction! First try? No! The answer was no. The answer was no. The answer was no, it will not be the first try. The answer, how do I leave? Let me out. Let me out. How do I... let me out. The answer was no. How do I leave? How do I... Chat, how do I stop? Chat. Okay. Okay, take two. Take two. Take two. Take two. Okay, try again. His prediction, this one will count as 1. What? Figuring it out. I'm getting there. 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 Fuck! Okay, this is recoverable. This is savable. This is savable. I got plenty of time. God, this guy's so fucking good. No! This is savable. This is savable. This is so savable. This is so savable right now. This right here, it's not savable. It's done. It's over. 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 Welcome back, Maker. Could have been cleaner. No! Oh, fine. Fuck! Always at the same spot.
Oh, hello, Todd.
Yes, I did, dude. Was it the eye patch? And welcome back. It did happen while I was wearing the eye patch. Yes, it was sensory deprivation. Yes! 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 Ah! Or
Again, again and again you prove your mastery, Miss Nimblebug. Still, I never tire of the challenge.
Oh, good, I didn't
As
have
a
to tell
reward,
you that. You're too slow.
as a reward for such an impressive feat of endurance, I have only this small trophy, a memento given by my own speed teacher. Oh, that makes sense. Now fairly passed to you.
Yoma.
Now I shall remain and train. And no, though I have no more rewards to give, you are welcome to grace my track as many times as you wish.
the Sprintmaster is a title, so the reason why Sprintmaster looks different in Hollow Knight 1 is because it is a title that is handed down. So he's not the Sprintmaster. He's now the Sprintmaster, but he hasn't always been the Sprintmaster. Got it. Cool. Explained. Just one more. We are finishing the game tonight. Hi, Melon. How are you? How you doing, dog? How's the Pokédex looking? The only things I have left is I have to kill 3 things in the Abyss. Which is on the way. I'm gonna turn around after I get those 3 things and go back to Un. I'm not gonna go do the main quest. So it's not really on the way because I'm going to turn around. But I was doing good until you screamed fuck off. That wasn't to you. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. Gilded trophy awarded by Sprintmaster Swift to the fastest bug in Farloom. We also got Aged Medallion of the Wanderer Seth. A gift given in respect of great skill. One more. You're perfect. You're perfect. No, stop. Haha, you're so handsome. To the abyss! Which requires deep docks. I'm like weirdly nervous. This game has been like... This game has been such a large part of my life for the last 7 months? February, January, December, November, October, September, and then March. So yeah, 7 months. This game has been such a large part of my life for 7 months. Is that just a... No, okay. It feels... strange to now be at the... Am I supposed to be entering from this way? No. It feels strange to now be at the precipice. I have to go to the right. Swap out my things for the things that I actually want. I mean, I do like that. Oops. No, I like this better. Because it has story... it has story tied to it. Do I have... the 100... I'll break it. Not breaking the statue, though. Okay. Back to my build. Let me... my bearings? Okay. Got it. Okay. It was,
It's done, miss. I've fitted the shelf for another descent. If you're planning another, head down, holler, and I'll get you going.
Your work is appreciated, sir. Know that, with luck, the threat from below might soon be quelled, and your land shall rest calm.
Well, good. I'm only really wishing to return to the forge from my regular duties. Little purpose, routine. Frankly, miss, all this action's a bit more and a bit overwhelming for bugs like me. I'll be glad when it's over, providing we survive, of course. New shells all bolted on tight, miss. If another ascent, head down and holler, and I'll get you where you're going.
Okay.
Holler when you're ready, miss. Upgrades are done.
Holler! Well, hi. All right. So we need 3 bugs. We need 1 single shadow creeper, 3 shadow chargers, and 3 Gargant Blooms. Sorry, Gargant Glooms. And then we're done. Glooms. Oh, here you go. Done. Oh, I shouldn't have did that. Shadow Creeper. Shell-plated worm found only in the deepest depths. Seems to survive despite consuming no food or liquid. A creature long familiar to me, I suspect that no matter how far I travel, if I descend deep enough, they will always be there. That's 1. That's 2. Doesn't matter if I die, as long as I kill him. And that's done. Gargant Gloom. Also, hi Ace, how are you? Gargant Gloom. Enormous tubular beast uniquely suited to living close to the void below. Amazingly, the creature carries the void's black liquid in its stomach, violently spraying it forth if threatened. The final bug. This is it.
Friend.
Shadow Charger. Bulky worm from the deepest depths. Lives in tight crevices and uses its weighty body to batter. Oop. Betty Botter. These ones grow large, yet I have never observed them eating or sleeping. They seem such simple bugs, but suspect they not truly are cousins. Interesting. 235 out of 235. 235 out of 235. 100%. Let's go get the fucking memento. Sir, I need to return above. Please ready the bell for me.
Oh, miss, sit on bench and don't get hauled up.
Getting it.
Do you wear wigs?
No, I do not.
Have you worn wigs?
No, I have not.
Will you wear wigs?
Maybe.
When will you wear wigs?
Captions don't work during the Minecraft scene. What the fuck? What the fuck? Are they working right now? Yag? What the fuck? I have no idea. Could you send me that in a DM? Because I have no idea why that would be the case.
Oh, Mushu, oh, Miss Grown Up. It was like this or something, it's like this. Miss Grown Up, your journal is bursting with every sort of creature. Overflowing. Surely we could call this complete. To think such a task could ever be done. So clever is new to have set up a fierce predator onto the work.
These vast lands hold so much life. And to catalog it all has taught me greatly. It's an effort worth continuing, even after I leave this kingdom.
Oh, my. Such a hunger is worthy indeed. You and I are of accord, Miss Grown Up. Hunters both. Our methods are different, but our appetites have become very similar. New has, for you, this token. It's a symbol of all your efforts, and a marker of your true nature. It carries with it her sweet, sweet smell.
Moon? Her sweet, sweet smell.
And now, Miss Grown Up, the task is done. You must be away. Do not be sour. Just think, Fireloo is only one land. How many more must hide out there? Filled full with beasts and scents and tastes, all wanting to be discovered. For New, her journey is only at its start. And for you, Miss Grown Up, new wishes too, your happy hunting. Much and more.
Seal symbol given in recognition of a true hunter. It has the symbol from the first game. Stamped in sticky goo. A memento can be displayed in a home. Ah. 8.8. Now, we're not getting these. I might get this one at some point. I'd be down. Achieve 100% game completion and finish the game. We're gonna get that. I don't know what these 3 hidden achievements are. I'm not gonna look. I assume it's it's probably... If it's like the first game... If it's like the first game, then it's probably... It's probably defeat boss, but let Lace sacrifice herself or something like that. That's probably one. And another is probably doing the same, but not letting Lace sacrifice herself. Something like that. Because that's what the first game was, of Hornet sacrificing. So, like, maybe there's, like, 2 variants of an ending depending on what you do when Lace is in a time of need. I don't know what the third would be. The third is... Well, yeah, I don't know what the third would be. No idea. Anyways. I mean, I guess I can look. What if one of them is something that I haven't done?
Or is it apple natural predator?
Hi, Arca. Hi, Varian. How are you? Every single memento, every single cylinder, every single relic, and as far as I know, every single item. Seal symbol given in recognition of a true hunter stamped in sticky goo. Variant, thank you for everything is up to Cosmo. Cosmo, I hope you enjoy your emotes and your balloons. Now... Now I notice... And maybe it's just me. Maybe it doesn't matter. There is a missing spot right there. See that? See that right there? Kinda looks like there should be... Kinda looks like there should be another thing right there. Is there another thing? Am I actually done? Is this real? Doc, is this real? It's an empty slot because of the gramophone. Okay. Now I know, VOD watchers, that you just watched this descent happen. This is the last time you're gonna watch this descent happen. So I feel like it's important for you to watch it. Feels weird. I have to talk to him first? Oh, probably through here, huh? I was saying earlier, Hollow Knight 1 is my favorite video game. However, this is the end of Hollow Knight Silksong. Probably shouldn't watch. But thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate a lurk if you leave it. Hi, cats. How are you? How's stream? I don't know, chat. How's stream? I'm about to finish Hollow Knight Silksong. Be stressed. Not very well. As seen, as seen, the punishment for using Beast Crest even. I'm throwing it. It's because I'm so nervous. My palms are sweaty. Arms weak, mom spaghetti. I didn't want to do that one. Child, I hold the means to descend. Let us meet one final time and quell this black ruin of our making. Who are you hoping to find? Who are you hoping to find down there, Miss Spider? An ailing child and a silk-starved beast? So, I'm afraid we may sorely disappoint. What waits below is me no longer. Even if only your shadow remains, release your mother's grip. The blade would see it slain. Then why hold, even this moment? Surely terror hasn't suddenly claimed your hardened heart? This final plunge, Spider. Join us in my drowning palace, and let oblivion swallow us all. Oblivion may take you, child. My own life shall not suffice. I have survived the fury of your land. I have borne its barbs and its blades. I have seen wonder behind it. But always, child, I remain a daughter of hollowness. In the void below, all things. That darkness, I will fear no longer. Ooh. Hello. Hello. Lost lace. Okay, done experimenting. Fuck. Okay, I was experimenting. Alright, this time I'm not fucking around. Fuck. You only get the cool cutscene once? I'm grateful, honestly. It's a cool cutscene. If I had to sit through it every single time I had to fight the boss, no thank you. You know? No thanks. Pass. Okay. Very, Ocarina of Time. Alright. Oof. Now, usually, I would start editing this and cutting down this fight to make it so that for the VOD watchers it goes faster. However, this is the last fight, so I'm willing to cut out the run back here or there. I feel like this is something that should be watched. I only crash out if it's unfair. The fight feels fair. It does so far. Like walked into her. Hey, worm. I like that they scream together. I also like that, seemingly, that confirms that the screams that were causing the earthquakes were Lace's, not Queen. Okay, I'm doing fucking great. Music is so fucking good. You react to her attacks well. Yeah, I'm learning the moves. I'm starting to figure it out. I'm very good at that. And I will gladly pump my ego on that. I'm very good at that kind of thing. I've been doing it since the beginning of me playing video games, of like learning attack patterns and stuff like that. It's all just like patterns. If I gave it a real shot, I feel like I would be very good at dancing. It's all just kind of that part of your brain. Pattern recognition. However, I was yapping that whole time, so I did bad. Nice night, cats. I love you. Mwah. That was scary. pretty cool. Holy shit. Worth it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Oh, okay. I get hit by that one pretty often. Oh, yeah, I don't agree with that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start trying to work in the back step. Oh, that one. not. I'm a fucking gamer, holy shit. I'm dying, but it was cool. I used beast mode and didn't get a single speck of healing, but I'm fucking, it looked cool. Okay. What the fuck just happened to me? I don't even want to win that time. I feel like I got hit by 4 tentacles in a row and it wasn't hot. Okay. Whoa. Hello, phase 2. Okay. All right. 20 attempts for phase 2. Okay. I'm getting fucked. It's not hot. Okay. All right. I heard a single time? Okay. Fuck! Seen it. And I could have avoided it. But I could not react fast enough. I could! Correction. I could react fast enough. I did not react fast enough. Hi. Hello. Okay! I want to point out my progress, though. 20 attempts for Phase 2. 5 attempts for Phase 3. I think my thing with the waves that just happened is that I'm actively trying to figure out, like, secrets as I'm playing, so I keep pulling out my needle and, like, see if it does anything, and it hasn't. So, like, I'm dying because I'm experimenting. It has nothing to do with me actually playing the game. It's all just like, oh, I wonder if this works. I gotta pee. My bladder is empty and it made room for power. This is the run. Hi, Vic. How are you? How's your stream? This is it. So, hi, Medi. How are you? Oh! Thought she would come out sooner than she did. Fuck! Make one mistake, you make 20. That's the way. Yep. You make one mistake, you make 20. That's just how it is. I was doing so unbelievably good. Okay. Ooh. Hey, Robo. I love you. Mwah. Lose to the fucking waves. Getting better. What is happening? I'm getting hit by shit I never got hit by. Ba 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 ba. Goddamn fucking using Beast Crest and fucking beating her in one hit and fucking missing out on my healing because Beast Crest is fucking Beast Crest and fucking getting hit by the fucking waves and fucking waving and fucking surfing and fucking surfs up. Fucking starring Shia LaBeouf fucking. Alright, well, I have, like, full healing, but I'm going into this with very little, you know? I don't want to talk about it. I like how she breaks off in the background, and then the cocoon starts to collapse, and that's when the void starts to leak in. I was thinking about that when I got fucking ran over by a truck. I mean, I'm better off than last time, at least. Still have 2 healings. That has happened 3 times. I have healed in midair, and that's when she chooses to do the fucking projectile. I don't know if it's programmed that way, but goddamn. If it's not programmed that way, I am getting so insanely unlucky every time I've used it. If there is a tell for it, I have not noticed it. I don't know. Pretty good. It happened so fast. Whoa! I forgot she could do that. Well, not the most ideal state to be entering Phase 3. It's a lot better now. That was new. Okay. Oh. Okay. Look. Through the darkness and dangers, you persevered. Thank you for exploring the world of Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's meet again on the road ahead. Team Cherry. 100% in 125 hours. Oh! Okay. This is why you needed a 100%? Why is this a 100% award? Reward? The surface? Jesus fuck. Let me remove all my things so that I can decompress. I think the night ending is the 100% ending. I may be wrong. Well, that's... I assume that's like the true, right? Like, that's for getting in the egg and stuff. Is there other... I mean, we can look it up now. I don't know if there's a different ending than what we got. There was only... So I looked at the achievements. The only achievement that we didn't get... The only achievement that we didn't get is defeat Grandmother Silk while cursed. We could have done that this run. We did not do that. I didn't even get the curse until after we beat her, so that's the only achievement that we didn't get that we could have gotten this run. All the other achievements we got. Every single other one we got. And we got all the mementos. There are a couple other endings. Well, let's look it up. I mean, we beat it. Those are going to stay on the side, though. Jesus Christ. In fact, it's going to look a little janky for you because we're going over here. I'll turn off the chat. Okay. This is the normal ending. We got this one. What's the alternate? How do you get this one? Are you ending stream? Say no. I'm not for at least 30 minutes. I'm about to review a video game, though. And I'm at the end of the game. I'm about to review the entirety of Hollow Knight. You might not want... If you're asking to raid me, you might not want to. Well, hang on. Silksong endings. How do you get, like, none of this, why is it a fucking Steel Series website? What the shit? You wanted to anyways. Hi, hello everybody, hi. So there's this ending right here, and it says that this is a cut ending, found in the game files, identified as Ending B, with the name Strung to Serve. Along with an unused achievement icon, the ending shows a character with characteristics of both the Grandmother Silk and Hornet, haunting... Maybe this will be unlocked through DLC? Maybe this is a DLC thing. Maybe this is DLC. Maybe I'm looking at DLC. Maybe I just spoiled both me and everybody. Maybe this is DLC. But either way, we didn't get that one, and then this is the cursed one. The cursed one's pretty fucking cool. Like, that's pretty cool. I'm glad we didn't do the curse thing, since apparently it would have just ended the game, and we wouldn't have been able to enter Act 3. But... yeah. First ending is kind of hard to get. Yeah, I mean, you have to beat her with nothing. Okay, and then that's the one we got. Okay. So those are the endings. We got them all. All right, I don't care about the goddamn cursed ending. We got the endings. We did it. There was no alternate ending to what we just did. Also, I just noticed. No matter what I set this to, there's always 2 there now. It's there for all of them. Huh. That's pretty cool. Anyways. I'll leave it on the cradle because it doesn't have as much ambient. Hollow Knight is my favorite video game. Like, it's not a debate. Like, it's not close. Hollow Knight is my favorite video game. To get a sequel to Hollow Knight is such a gift. I went into this game intentionally with low expectations. Honestly, lower than I should have. I felt like I was fucking being a pissy little baby that first stream, right? I went into this game intentionally with the lowest expectations possible because I knew that if I didn't do that, then immediately I would be comparing this game to Hollow Knight left and right, and comparison is the death of joy. It would have ruined the entire game. The game ended up ruining itself. Hollow Knight Silksong is an absolute masterpiece. Hollow Knight Silksong is an utterly amazing game. And yet there's too much of it. Not in the way that there's like, that it's too long. I don't care, right? Like, not in the way that it's too long or it's too big. There are sections throughout this game that feel as though they are stretched for time. There are sections throughout this game that feel like they just kept adding and adding and adding, and they should have stopped 3 ads ago. You know what I mean? Candyman, did you play Hollow Knight after Silksong? They did. Hollow Knight Silksong made me cry 3 times. Every single one of those times was because it was referencing the first game. and nothing to do with the plot of Silksong. Hollow Knight Silksong is a game where there is so much packed into it that it feels like things were pushed to the side, and every single time something is pushed to the side, it feels like the biggest mistake that they could have made. Hollow Knight Silksong feels like this game was in development for 7 years and should have been in development for 5. There is so much in this game that is, frankly, unfair and unfun. That isn't to say that that doesn't exist in Hollow Knight. There are moments in Hollow Knight that are unfair and unfun. Every single one of them is optional. What's that, you don't like Path of Pain? It's optional. What's that, you don't want to do the fucking White Palace? You can beat the game without it. You don't need to do it. Oh, but you want the true ending? It's really not that difficult when you compare to this game. When you compare to other platformers, it's not that difficult, especially with the addition of charms. We'll get to those. Hollow Knight is not a flawless game. I'm not trying to say that it is. The parts that are flawed in Hollow Knight are intentionally optional. The parts that are flawed in Silksong are not. There are so many sections, be that sections that I talked about on stream while we were doing it, like the fucking frog boss, that has a fucking 4-phase gauntlet before you fight the boss that also has 2 phases himself, and if you die, you have to redo the whole thing, plus a long walk back. Be that a tower that you have to redo the entire tower before you fight the boss, which is Act 3, so you could say, oh, well, you can beat the game without it. Still, if we're saying Path of Pain, that was worse. And also, you don't have to do Path of Pain, so if we're doing White Palace would be the more close thing. If you're saying, hey, compare that to White Palace, then equal. But I would say the tower was hard. Harder than the palace was, because the palace you can use charms in order to make that easier. You cannot really do that on that boss, on that tower rather. Be that sections blocked off by gauntlets, the addition of the void in Act 3 that felt like too much because it makes everything do 2 damage and also negates healing and also so on and so forth. There's the fucking I have to dig through my memory of 150 hours of video game. There's so much in this game that feels like it goes on for too long in a way that makes it not fair. And maybe it's the rose-tinted glasses. I don't feel that way about Hollow Knight. I didn't back then, I don't now. There are definitely sections of Hollow Knight that are cock and ball torture. It doesn't feel like this. Maybe that's the 2 damage that every single fucking enemy does, making it so that there's this fucking weird power scaling. Hollow Knight Silksong Hollow Knight Silksong is like there are 2 games built into one. One game is Hollow Knight. The other game is I Want to Be the Guy. And they clash. Hollow Knight Silksong feels like it feels like what it is. Hollow Knight Silksong feels like a DLC that was made into an entire game. You compare this to a From Software DLC where it's much harder than the rest of the game, and it rings true. However, those DLCs are only 15 hours, and this is 150. 80 if you're good, but like, Hollow Knight Silksong is a DLC that was in development for too long. I think that's really the best way to sum it up. Let's move away from that. I've spoken a lot throughout this game of this issue that I have of the game being way too fucking long at all of the worst parts. When you start to notice things wrong with a video game, it starts to compound. It starts to add on top of itself, where once you notice one thing that's wrong, more and more becomes obvious. I beat this game using Beast Crest. It has been 7 months since this game released. I think it is I said it during the boss. I think VOD might have been paused. I think it's fucking ridiculous that we are 7 months into this game being released and Beast Crest still works the way that it does. There are moments in this game that I can look at as not a game developer, that I can look at and point as bad game design. The Beast Crest is bad game design. Not because it is bad to use. I used it the entire game. I love the moveset of the Beast Crest. I wouldn't have used it if I didn't. I like the Beast Crest. The Beast Crest's requirement is that you hit an enemy to heal. In every single video game, every single video game, all of them, anything that is an action game, killing an enemy is a win. That is a win condition. If you have the ability to attack in any way, be that jumping on the enemy's head or swinging a sword, defeating an enemy is a win. The Beast Crest, because it heals based off of hit, if you kill an enemy early, you don't get all the healing that you could get. You don't get all three. In turn, you get punished for a reward, making that reward null, and in turn, making that win condition now feel like a defeat. That's bad game design. That's not me saying, oh, I don't like that it works this way. This is objective truth. This is not subjectivity. That is an objective truth. If you have a thing that is a win condition, and that win condition has any semblance of the player feeling bad about winning, that is bad game design. Unless it's like a psychological decision where like you feel bad about killing the enemy, and like that's like that, you know, there's like a narrative choice there of like you killed an enemy and like it ended up being a dog and it's whimpering and you just kicked it, and it's like, you know, obviously like there's exceptions, but for the most part, if there is a win condition and that win condition is felt sadness by the player, creates sadness for the player, that is bad game design. We can argue about Grohl. We can argue whether or not that's bad game design. I feel like it is. That's subjective. We can argue about the long walkbacks. Some people like them. I think they're kind of eh. We could argue about so on and so forth about this game. The Beast Crest working the way it does, in that one aspect, is bad game design. That is not subjective. There are other instances that I feel that way, of moments in this game where I had an experience doing something and it felt bad. But again, all of those are subjective, like Grohl, like I pointed out, that is subjective. I personally think that that was way too fucking much. there are other parts of this game where it feels that way, where it's way too fucking much. You added too much, you did too much. But that is the only one that I can objectively say is true. And this game has been out for 7 months. I know I am not the only person that feels that way. I might be the only person that has that like the way to improve it, right? Like I might be the only person that has said exactly what I've said of how to improve it, which I've voiced previously. I won't restate it now. I might be the only person that's done that, right? Or even has the exact opinion of why I think it's bad game design, right? But I'm not the only person that thinks that the crest itself is bad game design. And I know that because while I've been streaming this game, people have come into my chat and said that they don't like it, said that it was bad, been like, whoa, you're using Beast Crest? Oh boy. Like, there's been multiple times where people have come in and said that. I made a post on Reddit and on the Steam forums about the Beast Crest and how to improve it. And outside of a few outliers of people that are probably alongside me where they're like, yeah, it's bad, but I like it anyways, I've gotten reply after reply of saying that they agree that it is bad. They might not agree with my change, but they still agree that the crest is bad. And most of the time when they don't agree and they're like, no, it is actually good game design, it's like, oh, well, you're intended to face tank. That's bad! If the intention of the Beast Crest, like even if that is like the intention, if the intention of the Beast Crest is, this is the crest that you can face tank, all of a sudden, this crest now ignores all of the game design. Dodging gone, jumping gone, parrying gone, all the tools gone. Every single aspect of the game gone except for bind hit. That is bad game design too. So even if you think that my opinion of the fucking, you get hit, it fucking does it takes away that win condition, right? Even if you disagree with that, and you say that you like the fucking face tank part of it, that is still bad game design. It does not change the objective truth. I love the Beast Crest. I used it for 150 hours. I love the Beast Crest. I love the moveset. I love it conceptually. I love it. I would not have used it for this long if I did not. It is still bad game design. Both things can be true. And we're 7 months into this game being out, and that is the verdict across the board from what I've seen. Again, there are outliers. That is the verdict across the board. And it remains how it is. Let's talk about the crest and tool system in general. In Hollow Knight, this is the one aspect where like I can 100% compare the two. I'll wait until the ad's over. In Hollow Knight, there is the charm system. The way it works is pretty straightforward. You have a certain amount of slots that you unlock throughout the game, right? You have, I think the maximum is 9, maybe 10. You have 9 slots, right? Throughout the game that you unlock as you go. You start off with like 3, you build up over time. Then underneath that, there is... I don't remember. We'll... Just for like fucking argument's sake, because it doesn't really matter, we'll say 100 charms. Underneath that, there are 100 charms. You have so many combinations that you can put into those slots. Unless you're looking up a meta and you're putting charms in as a meta decision, the odds that you and I, or you and any other player, used the exact same charms at the end of the game is highly unlikely. Statistically unlikely. Because there are so many options of charms and only so many slots, it is so rare to use all of the same items. The downside is that these charms don't really change your attack pattern or anything that ridiculously. They're smaller changes, but when you include all 9 of them, it vastly changes the way that you play the game. This game has crests. Each of these crests differs based off of what you can put inside of it for some of them. So the Beast Crest, for example, only has 2 yellow slots. Others have 4 with 2 yellow, 2 blue. Some only have blue. I think one of them only had blue. You get the idea. One of them had 3 red slots. By forming the game like that, and still having these tools not really make that big of a difference in playstyle, it is highly likely that someone played this game exactly the same as me, and if you played it, it is highly likely that someone played it the same as you. Even if they don't use the same tools, because they are using your crest, and the crest is the part that changes the game more, it is highly likely that they played the game very similar to you. Good night, Topaz. I love you. Mwah! Also, hi, Abby. I do not like the crest system. I like it. I think it's a great idea. Having different crests or weapons that can change the way that you play the game. I think it's a good idea. Taking that system and removing the charm system is infinitely negative. I do not like that they did that. The charm system creates such an interesting diversity within the player base. The crest system makes everything a lot flatter. Again, this is the one point where I'm like, okay, I'll compare this to Hollow Knight. Because, like, they had the charm system, and they chose to go away from that. And I think that is so fucking negative and so bad. But the art of this game is fucking stunning. This game is so fucking pretty all the time. Even when I'm sitting here getting my fucking balls fucking put in a wedge, this game is fucking so beautiful. And the music is so pretty. Christopher Larkin did such a fantastic job on this goddamn game. It is so clear how he improved from his work on Hollow Knight till now, and his projects in between. It is so clear how much better he is with this game than Hollow Knight. The soundtrack to this game is so fucking good. Storyline-wise, while I personally... Storyline-wise, I think that Hollow Knight Silksong is... I like the storyline of this game. I think the story of this game is very fucking good. The story that it tells. I don't like parts of it. I feel as though Hornet's lines are a little iffy here or there. I think that, but I don't think it's a problem. I think for the most part, the storyline of this game is amazing. I think that it does a fantastic job at delivering what it wants to say, and I do feel like I pieced it together pretty well. Whether or not I was 100% right on everything, I won't know until I read the wiki and maybe watch a video or two. But I tried my best to piece it together, and I feel like I got a pretty good footing about what this game is about and what it's trying to say. But I also feel as though the way that the story interacts with the world around it is negative. I already talked about the void in Act 3 and how I don't like how that functions. I don't like how things aren't trusted to the player. So, when you defeat Grandmommy, it is only till after that boss where you get the item that tells you your percentage of the game. In Hollow Knight, it's before the final boss. I prefer that way. That is one small thing of like, oh, this is a pacing issue. They should not have put this where they did. It should have been before Grandmommy Silk. Another instance is the moment with Ava. I don't like that they kept that vague about why or when Ava was awarding you things. And I think that could have been made more clear. I don't like how NPC positions aren't hinted to the player, and you're kind of just left to figure it out. I also don't like that about other games. We'll talk about that more when we play Bloodborne next week. There are many moments like that throughout this game about little decisions that they made to stay vague, and I don't think that they should have. And that unfortunately expands to the developers themselves. When they announced Silksong, they shouldn't have. And when it was getting internally delayed multiple times, they chose silence and vaguity. They should not have done that. They should have communicated and talked to their player base. It really feels like, and I love Team Cherry. I love Hollow Knight. I will play whatever Team Cherry makes next, DLC or full game. It really feels like Team Cherry doesn't trust their players enough. In just about every aspect. Hollow Knight Silksong is 3/4 the greatest game I've ever played. 1/4 hot doo-doo garbage that makes me suffer. So the entire time we've been playing, I feel like I was debating within myself about how I feel simply because the 4th shined a lot brighter a lot of the time. That's just human brains. Negativity stands out. And it was hard to come to terms with that reality. That I was having such a good time for 75% of the time. And yet 25% felt like I was being pushed down and kicked in the gut. And I think part of that might be the fact that I love Hollow Knight so much. And that this game is so similar to Hollow Knight. So that 25% hit a lot harder than it maybe might have for other people. And I know people don't like it when I shit on a game this much. Both during the gameplay and during review. People don't like this. A lot of people will stop talking and leave because they don't like me shitting on what is possibly their favorite game. And that's okay. I feel like this game was torturous very often. And I think that I'm going to compare this game to a different franchise that I've already mentioned. I'm going to compare this game to Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. Because I think what Chris just said rung in my head. Dark Souls 1 is a deeply flawed video game. There are shining moments in Dark Souls 1 that feel that shine in my memory so insanely bright. Dark Souls 1 is a game that raised me. I love Dark Souls 1, despite its flaws. There are multiple sections throughout Dark Souls 1 that feel like, and now we know this for a fact, it feels like the developers were running out of time, and a deadline was fastly approaching, and they couldn't find a good answer to the problem that they were having. So in turn, that section, or boss, or enemy, or function became half-baked because they just simply didn't have enough time to fully cook. And we now know what them fully cooking looks like through their future games like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and especially Elden Ring, or even outside of that genre, Silksong. Sekiro. We've witnessed them fully cook and take those aspects from Dark Souls 1 that were half-baked and tighten them up to make something truly magnificent. And yet, despite that, I love all of the games that I just mentioned and more from Software. And yet Dark Souls 1 shines bright in my brain, maybe because it was the first I played, but because you can see how revolutionary it was. Hollow Knight is a similar story. Hollow Knight is also an incredible video game that has a lot of flaws. Hollow Knight is not a very fun game to platform in. The platforming in Hollow Knight is very rough. And they knew that. They've said that. Team Cherry has said that. The platforming in Hollow Knight is rough. The combat is good, but the platforming is rough. It's also very slow, partially because of that rough platforming. The movement is slow, the jumps are slow, everything is very slow in that game. In Dark Souls 1, everything is very slow. You have a floaty kind of movement where it kind of feels like your feet are slipping no matter where you go. In Dark Souls 2, a lot of people's favorite of the franchise, they tightened up movement. They made the movement more fun. They added mechanics to keep you moving. They added mechanics to keep the game going. They added mechanics to allow player choice, making it so that multiple different weapons can be dual-wielded. They went through and they made the stats make more sense, despite one of them being increasing iframes, which everybody agrees is bad, but we can let them go on that one. So on and so forth. There are also parts about Dark Souls 2 that are undeniably worse. The world design isn't as concise as Dark Souls 1, but also that's a very hard game to match when Dark Souls 1 maybe has one of the best designed world maps out of any game. It's a hard thing to match or beat, right? So, what all of that ends up being is how I feel Silksong is to Hollow Knight. I think that Dark Souls 2 feels better to play than Dark Souls 1 but the world and the content that you're consuming through the action of play is better in Dark Souls 1. I think that's the same for Silksong. I think that the world design, the story, in some points the art, not really art quality, but art message, art theory, whatever the fuck. I think that Hollow Knight is better in all of those ways. But it feels worse to play. Silksong, because of their focus on platforming and their focus on speed, Silksong feels better to play. It feels tighter. It feels more fun to fight. You have a lot of options in combat, regardless of what crest you choose, which isn't really true for Hollow Knight. You do have a lot of options. I'm not saying that you don't, but you have more in Silksong. Silksong is better to play. Hollow Knight is the better game surrounding that play, but the action of playing itself is worse. So then you get to this point where do you line up on games? What do you prefer when playing games? Do you want a game to play well, or do you want the world in which you are playing to be well made? Not saying that Silksong is not well made, but there are parts that it is not. I think that they're a similar story of Silksong is better gameplay-wise. And because that is the way in which we are being delivered this product, it makes the whole thing feel better. But when you really think about what's there, at least when I really think about what's there, and maybe I'm going to feel different when I eventually replay Hollow Knight, now that I have this context. Silksong has a lot of points that are deeply, deeply flawed in ways that feel unfair and unfun. The action of playing them is fun. The fact that they exist is not. Hollow Knight has moments like that too, but they are optional. The only one that I would argue isn't is the White Palace. But even then, with the charm system, you can make that a lot easier. For the parts that are cock and ball torture in Silksong that are required, charms or tools would not make it easier. Maybe I'm off base. That is the vibe that I get. Obviously, I can only know my own opinion. I can only know my own thoughts. I can only know my own brain. For me, I think that Silksong, I'm going to restate, I think that Silksong is 75% an absolute masterpiece. I think Silksong is 75% one of the best games ever made, one of the best games I've ever played. Silksong is 75% a 10 out of 9. A favorite. But it's also 25% of torture. It is 25% of bad game design. It is 25% of... It is 25% of just not a good time. It is 25% of sections that are too long, sections that have long walkbacks. It is 25% of little decisions made by the developers here or there that could have been improved, like player messaging, like the Ava system, or the 100 or the completion. It is 25% looking at the decisions that they made in Hollow Knight and actively choosing to go against them in ways that I feel were negative. It is 25% too long. So then, that takes that 10 out of 9 game that is Silksong and really drags it down in my brain. Because, A, that stuff exists. B, negative is highlighted a lot more intensely than positivity. So, and it compounds, where once you notice that one thing is wrong, it stacks, and you start to notice more and more. On one hand, this is a bad thing. It makes it so that negativity compounds. But on the other hand, it's a good thing because it allows you to think more critically about what you're consuming, which is of itself also can be a bad thing if that is not your goal, if that is not your intention, if that is not what you want. I don't think Silksong is a bad game. I don't think it's in the red. I don't think I would have played it for 150 hours if it was. I wouldn't have completed the game with 100% completion. I maybe would have finished it, but I would not have completed it. But I'm also not sure it's in the green. Does the great shine enough to reach the green for me? Or does the bad drag it down far enough where it would be in yellow? I am so insanely conflicted on this game in my feelings of it and where I land with it. And I would greatly appreciate opinions in chat. Not that I'm going to take your opinion, but to bounce off of in order to invoke thought. Invoke feeling. For me, I hated Hollow Knight. It made me so angry for all the reasons you're mad at Silksong. So I loved Silksong. It was a breath of fresh air. The good far outweighed the bad. But you also played Silksong before you really played Hollow Knight and gave Hollow Knight a try after. That's interesting to me. It's very interesting that we don't align on this one, Chris. Played Hollow Knight first? Yeah, but I thought you replayed it after, because you didn't get very far the first time. And then you replayed it and then fully did it. Right? I think they focus too much on the tools rather than the crest. I bounced off Hollow Knight 3 times and finally locked in before Silksong. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Seemed very fun on the fun parts and an absolute slog through the hard parts. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. I don't think it's a 9. I don't think I liked this game as much as any of the 9s. I think, and there were a lot of hard parts, yeah. I think the green, for me, it's green because of the lore and the story. I didn't enjoy the long walks or anything as bad as someone who struggles with coordination. Fighting in fighting in gauntlets was really difficult for me. The lore was the main thing keeping me going. That's fair. I want to replay Silksong, but I don't want to replay Hollow Knight. Haven't you already replayed Hollow Knight? Having not played it, I can only speak as a viewer. The parts with really long walkbacks seemed unnecessarily punishing, Sections being difficult didn't seem as much as an issue. Ooh, delaying the ads. I can't. Well, suffer. Unnecessarily punishing. The sections being difficult didn't seem as much of an issue to me. I agree. The fights or the jumping puzzles, like, I don't see those as a detraction, but those areas with really long walkbacks leading into what is clearly designed to be fights that take a lot of tries felt like an unnecessary punishment experiencing the game as intended. I would add in gauntlets into the formula that is walkbacks, but yeah, that's fair. I've only played Hollow Knight once. It seems like you should replay Hollow Knight. I'm definitely of that opinion too. I will never touch Hollow Knight again. I'd be okay with going back to Silksong, but I'm also very biased. I mean, that's what an opinion is. Heard the sad news that you quit playing Frontier. Gonna miss you, pal. Yeah, I'm not returning anytime soon, at least. Hollow Knight got a 6 and Silksong got a 9. I don't think this is a 9 for me. Did I like Hollow Knight Silksong as much as God of War? Yeah. I'm looking at what I've rated 8s. I think it's in the green. The gawk is true. Is it in the green? Why do I have Death Stranding written twice? What the fuck? What did I rate Death Stranding? My keyboard disconnected? What the fuck? Holy fuck. This might be the hardest game I've ever rated. Tying a number to this game is very hard. Holy fuck. That's exactly what's happening, Deku. What an interesting time to raid. Hi, Dread Pirate Brandon. I'm currently trying to figure out where I'm putting this game. No, I think it's in the green. Wasn't here for like any of this. You're gonna have to check the VAD. I rated God of War 1 a 7. That did not deserve a 7. Whoops. I have so many 7s. Oh, I don't re-rate it unless I play the game again. I might, like, that's a conversation for a different time. Did I like this game as much as Alan Wake? Yeah. Such a hard fucking game to fucking rate. I think Silksong. I think Hollow Knight Silksong is an absolute masterpiece of a video game. It is also deeply flawed in ways that are so incredibly avoidable that it is infuriating that those flaws exist. Be that instances of bad game design like I've pointed with Beastcrest, or subjectively with some of the walkbacks and stuff like that, like with Grohl, or the gauntlets and that kind of thing. All of that's subjective, right? With the narrative that it tells and the fashion that it tells it, and some of the pacing decisions that it makes. I think that Hollow Knight Silksong is an absolute masterpiece, but also insanely flawed in ways that infuriate. I think that Hollow Knight Silksong is an 8. I'm looking at my other 8s and where they sit in my brain, and I very much think it belongs there. Because I'm looking at the 7s and I don't think it's there. I think I love Hollow Knight Silksong. I really, really cherish the experience that I had throughout this game. And I'm looking forward to one day experiencing it again in a way that is so much faster. I'm going to go through this game so much faster next time that I play it. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. But I also think that, once again, using my Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 comparison that I did earlier, I think that Hollow Knight is a revolutionary title that reinvented Metroidvania. Metroidvania being a genre that has been around since the 80s, when gaming really started to pick up with the home consoles. Arguably, it was in the 70s with the Metroidvanias, because there was like a couple of games, but you know what, like Metroid was 80, and you get the idea. Anyways, Hollow Knight was a revolutionary video game that changed Metroidvanias, one of the oldest genres in gaming. The very first genre named for its compounded nature. Hollow Knight changed that genre. A genre that, for the most part, hasn't really changed since the 2000s. And Hollow Knight revolutionized it. Silksong took that, and rather than innovating on top of what Hollow Knight did, it instead turned away and did something completely different. And while that something completely different is better in some aspects, again, I think that Hollow Knight Silksong plays better than Hollow Knight plays. There are so many aspects in the world design, the way that things are unlocked, the pathing, the way that the narrative is delivered to you, and things gameplay-wise that are delivered to you through the narrative. There are so many instances throughout this game where they could have done that better, and in fact did, in Hollow Knight. But this is not about the comparison between these two games. Frankly, I could not give a shit less about what you guys prefer between Hollow Knight or Silksong. I don't care. And I don't really care about that for myself. I don't care about where this game sits in comparison to Hollow Knight. That does not matter. What matters to me is, how do I feel about the experience that I just had? How I feel about the experiences that I just had is that I had an absolutely amazing, unforgettable time for 75% of this game, and I had an absolutely horrible, ball-crushing, tear-jerking time that I will also never forget because it's now created trauma for 25% of the time. Hollow Knight Silksong is an 8 out of 10, or an 8 out of 9. This game is so insanely deeply flawed. And yet, it is also a masterpiece. Now, contextually, I feel the same way about Elden Ring, and Elden Ring is a 9. So, this impacted a little bit greater my general playing experience. It got to a point where I'm just not even gonna fucking cut the shit, right? It got to a point where I beat this game in 150 hours, a little bit more. A little bit less, actually. It took me 150 hours to beat this game. My save file doesn't say that because it cuts out loading screens. Hang on. Any day now. Cannot. My controller disconnected as it connected. Okay. In game it says 125. There's 25 hours on top of that. I don't know where those 25 hours went, but they exist on Steam. Either way. It got to a point while playing this game where I no longer wanted to play this game. I was ready to beat this game based off of that timer 24 hours ago. 25 hours ago. Well, it's 2 minutes. 25 hours ago. I wanted this game to be over. I didn't want to stream this game. And there was days where I woke up and dreaded going to stream because I knew it was going to be this game. Elden Ring didn't make me feel that way. This impacted my experience a little bit more. And I think I'm going to restate. There are so many points in this game where the answer of how to improve it is so fucking obvious, and that is infuriating. But it's an 8. I think that I might do the speedrun achievement at some point. We will come back and do the DLCs. Maybe not when every DLC is launched. We might delay that. Maybe like I might do, like, I might wait until they're, like, done putting out DLC and then return to it. I don't know. We'll see how we go when we get there. So I will return to Hollow Knight Silksong and continue playing it. And like all of the games on my entire review list, which you can see through !review, it's also linked in the banners below. So if you're watching the VOD right now, you can go to my Twitch page and it's in the banners. It's also linked somewhere on my YouTube page. No fucking idea. Anyways, like all of the games on my review list, this game can go up 1 score or down 1 score based off of my opinion of these DLCs. So we're going to play these DLCs when they release. It could go down to a 7. It could go up to a 9. If I play this next DLC and I fucking hate it, it could go down to a 7. I play the next DLC and I love it, it could go back up to an 8. You get the idea. So we will play the DLCs for this game and return to Silksong. But for now, it is, and will remain, an 8. Thank you for watching. Holy fuck, it's over. Mwah!